Alright, I just need to make sure that we're actually live. And we are. Okay, so we have a great show for you guys this week. As you can see, small Linus is not here, but Large Linus is here. So with Large Linus here, we thought we'd just go ahead with the show. I know the framing is a little weird and stuff, but we thought we'd try it out and see what you guys think. So as you guys know, this is Jerry Berg or Barnacules, and we have him on the show this week. Where can people find you? How can people see your stuff?
The easiest way to see my stuff would be just to go to barnnerd.com. You know, the barn, like where they keep the cows, and the nerds, like where they keep the nerds.com. That's where I'm at.
Perfect. So you guys can see him there. And for the show this week, we have a few different topics. I'm actually going to let you start them off this time.
Really?
Ooh, beautiful.
For reals? Oh
Yes.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Do I really have to start with Fractal Josh is awesome, though? Do I really?
Yes, you do. Well, no, we got to go through the callouts again.
Oh, the callouts. Do the callouts.
Then we're going to do Fractal Josh.
All right, so I get to start the callouts this time?
Yep.
Yay! All right, guys. We got a mass exodus of Xbox exclusives. Yeah, I care about that a whole lot. Okay, GameStop, fingerprints customers. Actually, that sucks. All right, now I'm kind of depressed.
Sketchy as hell. But
take
then
it away.
PhysX is being disabled when there's a second GPU in the system, which is not NVIDIA. We'll
yeah.
that later. And the most important news of the week at all, definitely, is that Yoshi's full name has been revealed. So we will talk about that later as well. Let's do the intro. Alright, so our first sponsor this week is Lynda.com. You can sign up with Lynda.com/WAN Show for a free 7-day trial. They have thousands and tons of freaking courses, and they're adding new ones every single week. Plan started about $25 a month, but again, if you sign up with our link, you get 7 days free. And our second sponsor is 5-4 Club. I'm wearing their shirt today, and if you sign up, you get we're doing a giveaway actually, where if you like this picture, which I'll drop in the chat here in 1 second. That second is going to be delayed. I'll drop the chat in there in like 30 seconds. If you follow @54 on Twitter, and if you comment with #LinusStyleTips, we will announce a winner on Monday on 54's page for who wins a free month of 54, I believe. It is about $120 worth of clothing each month for $60. And if you sign up right now, you get $15 off your first month with offer code Linus. Again, I'll be dropping that Instagram picture link in the chat in a second. Now, our first topic, which you already spoiled slightly, is that Fractal Josh is freaking amazing. So I want to show this, but my HDMI setup is not really working great. Spoiler alert, nothing really got that much better when Linus left. Let's see here. Let's see if this actually works. Because Fractal Josh made probably the greatest shirt that exists in the entire universe, and he's going to be sending me one, which I'm pretty stoked about. But he's going to be sending it to my personal address so that when Linus sees it, he doesn't burn it, because that's a legitimate worry for this. So let's see if this actually totally breaks. Oh, it did too. I don't even know if this is plugged in. Oh, that sucks. I'll bring it up over here. Give me 1 second.
Oh my god, I can't wait. I can't wait. Come on.
It's going to take a second.
Oh, come on. No, guys, I can see it. You guys can't see, so I'm just saying, privy to certain knowledge here, apparently.
So that is the shirt. As you can see, it's kind of small, but as you can see, there's Fractal Josh in the middle, fist bumping me and throwing a pie in Linus's face.
That's epic.
It's just great. I love this shirt, and like I said, he's going to be sending me one, so it will be featured on a WAN show sometime in the future. Thank you, Josh, for making such a beautiful artistic creation, and we hope to see more in the future. That's all.
And it even looks authentic. That's what's so beautiful.
It does. It actually took me a second. He sent me the tweet saying like, "Oh, do you like the shirt?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, you got one of our shirts. That's cool." And I was like, "Wait, there's a third guy in the middle. What's going on here?"
That's the problem with going with those 8-bit graphics. They're easy to replicate.
They are. Give me a second. I'm trying to figure out. It was just working. Come on, HDMI cable. Usually when Linus is gone, everything works. So I have a feeling that he sabotaged something.
Have you ever seen one of my streams? This is par for the course. Like me just being here probably just screwed up everything.
Okay, so that's not working at all. So I'm gonna have to. I can't do some reconfiguring. We'll figure this out. So first thing we have is the USB bug thing. Now, this is interesting, and I'm happy that they actually properly like researched it and stuff. But it's not really anything new. We've known this for a really long time. So what I'm talking about is two Berlin researchers named Karsten Knoll and Jacob Lell. I hope I didn't totally butcher that. But they have demonstrated how any USB device could be used to infect a computer by faking the device type it is, so telling it it's something else, or having little partitions on there that you can't properly format, and just infecting computers all over the place. Again, it's a fairly interesting study, but like I've known this since I was in like grade 10, maybe even before that.
Yeah, and don't plug unknown stuff into your computer. I mean, come on.
It's a very well-known thing. Like anyone who's been around for a while probably knows about Hacksaw or Switchblade, the USB hacks that people can get that just totally wreck you. Look at that. That's beautiful. You 3D printed that, right?
Yeah, and this one right here is a hack, and this one. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that, guys. I'm legit. Come on.
I don't know if I believe you.
I don't want to hack sword people.
I have a little red painted USB drive that is like a don't plug this into your computer USB drive.
You know what I like is all the people that have been. Have you seen the people that take the Matchbox cars and hollow them out and put the USB dongle in there? So it's like a full blown Matchbox car with just the USB port sticking out the back. Cool. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna try doing that at some point.
That's actually pretty cool.
So don't plug malicious crap into your computer, guys. Just don't.
Yeah, seriously. What you can do to help this is get the USB umbrella kind of thing. I'm hoping to get a sample from these guys to actually try it out myself. But essentially what they've done is made a USB pass-through plug that just cuts off all the data lanes on the USB. So it still lets power flow, but it just doesn't have the runs for data. So it can't actually transfer any data. They're usually, unless they're trying to give you data off a USB device, if someone's trying to plug their phone or something into your computer, they should only be getting power anyways.
Yeah, right? That's an interesting invention, actually.
Yeah, it is, and it makes sense. I'm actually kind of surprised that no one thought about it beforehand, because we've done this type of stuff in other applications.
Yeah,
and you can see it when like people get like the slightly cheaper DVI cables as well. Like certain runs aren't there. It's like this is a thing. So someone actually decided to do it with USB. So it's kind of cool. You can use it yourself if you want to plug something of yours into someone else's. Say you want to charge your phone on someone else's computer and you don't want to grab an infection from their computer to your phone, you can use it in that way, or you can use it defensively. So if someone wants to plug something into your phone or your computer, even if you trust them, they might have a virus from someone else on their phone.
That's true.
So just maybe, I don't know. I'm going to try and pick up some of these USB umbrella things and try them out in the future. I love that kind of stuff. And
you know what's going to piss you off, though? Like when you keep forgetting to unplug it and then you plug something in the back of it and you're like, why isn't it finding my device? Why?
It's ridiculous. It's fairly large. Like, it's not the smallest thing ever. I think they could have made it smaller. I'm not sure, though. It is, like, version 1 or whatever. So I think you'd probably know. And, like, knowing me, I'd probably just get, like, 6 and put them all over the place and, like, keep one in my backpack and, like, keep one in with whatever laptop I have at the time and all that kind of stuff. I don't know.
That's cool.
So that's a fairly interesting thing. But then we jump to something kind of horrible, in my opinion, which is the GameStop fingerprinting thing. Did you have time to read this?
I didn't read through it, but I think the title pretty much explains that this is ridiculous. I mean, I'm guessing when you purchase things, they're basically storing your fingerprint like a bank would if you're cashing a check.
Luckily, it's not just purchasing things. What they're actually doing is when you're selling things, because their idea, they did this voluntarily. They were not forced to do this. Apparently, the law enforcement agency asked them to, but the Philadelphia, where it is being done, is in Philadelphia City, not the suburbs around it, but just in the city. The Philadelphia City Solicitor Shelby Smith said specifically, what GameStop does doesn't meet any of the elements of the definition in the code for like pawn shops. So the pawn breaker ordinance doesn't apply to GameStop. She said, essentially, GameStop is not required to collect the thumbprints to abide by the city's pawnbroker law. So they do have a law where if you're a pawn shop, you're supposed to take people's fingerprints when they sell stuff to you. So that they can, the idea behind this is so that if you sell them stolen goods,
you're right,
they can find you. That kind of maybe makes sense. Personally, I'm still not a huge fan because of invasion of privacy and whatnot. maybe find some other way to find them, like take their ID down or something like
Mhm.
that. Like ID them to make sure it's the same person and then take their ID down. I don't think you need to fingerprint everyone that freaking sells you something.
No,
But
besides,
whatever.
whose fingerprints are in the system? I mean, yeah, okay, if you're
Yeah.
already a past criminal, but if it's your first offense, yeah, good luck finding them.
That's part of the idea. The Philadelphia Police Department says that GameStop is being proactive by obtaining the fingerprints and uploading them to a database known as Leads Online, which they are then compared
Ah, okay.
against criminal databases.
That
So
makes
you're not,
sense.
yeah, you're not being put into a criminal database.
So the
It's just
idea
a
is later
check.
on down the road when you commit a crime, then all of a sudden they come in and they go, yeah, you were jaywalking, but you also sold like 40 games to GameStop that you didn't own. So I'm sorry, your sentence is now life.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
That's
kind of
interesting.
sketchtastic. I'm not a huge fan, but it's just everything lately just seems like horrible, horrible news. And all the tin hatters that everyone used to laugh at are now like in public view. So everything that comes out like this just scares me.
Well, I
So
remember banks used to do that, like where you'd go in if you had a large check, you had to
yeah,
do the fingerprint. And I hated that stuff.
yeah.
You had to rub it off, and it would like turn to like little crusty stuff and get all over your clothing and everything. I was like, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Uh,
GameStop has quoted that at this time they're reviewing the process to determine if it is one which should be continued in Philadelphia, and they're not doing it anywhere outside of just like the downtown Philadelphia core. So
what about
hopefully they
like
just stop.
what if you're like under 18 though, or something like that? Can they legally even fingerprint you at that point?
I
Or
don't know because that's like American. That's American law, not Canadian law. But is that a thing? Because I know here they do like we're going on a field trip to the police station, and then they fingerprint you when you're kids.
actually they do that down here too.
Yeah,
So
it's so bullcrap.
I just know we have weird laws down here. Like I know you're not allowed to the city can't photograph children. Like in Washington State, they put up all these like radar traps to take pictures of your car. And like people were fighting back on the pretense that you're taking pictures of our children like sitting in the passenger seat or something. They actually won. So they're like, apparently you can't take pictures of people's kids. Like it's weird. We have weird laws, man. I'm moving to Canada.
That's nuts. Give me 1 second. People are saying that I'm quiet for some reason. I'm not sure why, especially when everyone in the test stream said it was totally fine. But we will see. Give me one quick sec.
Is it multiple people complaining?
Well, it's Twitch chat spamming, so it could be one person, it could be 30 people, it could be a whole bunch of people just spamming for fun. I'm not even really sure. But that might fix it. So we will have to see. We'll wait for Twitch chat to be able to catch up.
Yeah, I unmuted the stream. You are a little quiet, but it's not horrible.
Well, the mic's a lot closer now. And in my own monitoring, I can tell that I'm a fair amount louder now. So we'll have to see. Hopefully that works just fine.
Sweet.
Da-da-da. Okay, so next up is Twitch.tv changes, which has had everyone kind of freaking out lately,
I've
but
seen
they've been
this. Oh my
reeling
God.
back like this whole time. They're obviously an extremely agile company. So they've implemented a few things. Their automatic system muting video on demand videos for having copyright audio is doing that, but now there's an appeal button. So you can press the appeal button to try to get your video unmuted, which is interesting. That appeal button wasn't there right off the start. The maximum time limit on highlights has now been removed, but you can't have just everything that you've recorded forever always saved, which is interesting because if someone just goes like highlight entire video, I wonder if that's possible. I
Yeah,
don't
what about
know.
people that have so much stuff already recorded and uploaded? That's going to affect them pretty adversely.
Probably, and because I do know for a fact that people go back and watch different episodes. I know that my like 24-hour charity stream actually got a lot of VOD views.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. I'm going to try to highlight out most of the cool parts of the 24-hour stream. Yeah, I don't know.
This is what happens when Google buys YouTube and then buys Twitch. is we're gonna see lots of really awesome changes. Like I bet you every day we log into Twitch now, there's gonna be like new buttons we've never seen before, and the layout's
Google
gonna
Plus?
change like
Or,
every
like,
day.
+1?
yeah, you
You
have to be
+1
Google
this
Plus to
stream?
type. Oh my god, dude! You say it's coming. Mark my words, it's coming.
Oh my god, ridiculous. So the Twitch CEO Emmett Shear had a Reddit AMA where he said a whole bunch of stuff, but essentially one of the big things, in my opinion, is that he said we did need to change things. This is laying groundwork for some work in the future you guys are really going to like. We've been intending to do this for some time, but it took us a while to identify and select a content identification partner to get the system up and reliable. So the whole thing of like things you guys are really gonna like. I have a weird theory that I haven't yet seen anyone else say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone else has
Let's
said
hear
it.
this theory.
I'm wondering if they're gonna have their own music streaming, like approved music streaming thing. Like these are the amount of songs that you're allowed to play and what songs they are, and you can play them using our tool.
Well, they
Because
kind of did the same thing for YouTube, didn't they? Like YouTube had an audio library pop up that was like openly available to everybody.
I think so, but then YouTube is used for music, but directly from a lot of the music's publishers, whether it's like Vivo or the
Yep.
artists themselves or the like record label or whatever. YouTube is done widely for that, but Twitch is done in the background while someone is playing something. So I'm
That's
wondering
true.
if they're going to try and contact different record labels and stuff and see if they can get approved music.
They might do that.
through
They might even
Twitch.
do like some kind of ad-based thing too, where if they
Yeah.
detect music on your thing, they'll just run ads for that. You know, that could be
I'd
beneficial.
rather that because I make no freaking ad revenue off my Twitch channel anyways. So just let me play music and take all the revenue. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, because if somebody's listening to the song, they're going to be the most likely to give you an impression. I mean, they're going to be like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, it's a cool song. I'm going to click that link." It'd be beneficial to them. They should do that.
It makes way more sense.
But then again, we're smart people. I don't know about them Google guys sometimes with their whole just throwing their money around trying to make Google Plus win. I don't get it.
The whole Google Plus win thing, I don't really understand, but I don't think I'm going to throw Google under the bus because I think like half the wit of someone's dog that works at Google is probably higher than me.
I'm actually just playing around. Google. If I went back to the IT field, Google would be the first company I went and actually worked for.
That would
They're-
be beast, man.
They're pretty stand up. I've actually talked to a lot of people at Google. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
They just
And
need to
one
stop
thing
messing
that-
with YouTube. Stop it. Okay. Sorry, I had to get that rant out of the way.
I kind of agree, so it's no big deal. Another thing that he talked about is how there's a lot of agreements for different game companies so that they won't try to get you in trouble if you're playing games on Twitch, but
Yeah.
those agreements don't exist for music. So people that are like, oh, it's our right to do this. It's...
I also
Not
heard a
really.
rumor. I don't know if you know. Is this true that you can still play the music on your stream? It'll just be muted in the recording, or is it muted immediately when
I
it's?
think that's how it works, but I think that's not supposed to be the idea. Like, I think you're supposed to stop. I just don't think they're muting live streams. I think you might be able to get in trouble now. I'm not really sure. And if
Yes.
it's not like that already, I'm sure they're going to move in that direction.
I saw some funny streams the other day when I was looking around on there, though, with like titles like playing copyright music all day, all night. Like, and that's how I found out about this. Was originally all these people just kind of spiting them. So I was like,
Right. I don't know. It's not Twitch's fault though.
it's not.
They're getting legal hammers thrown onto their heads and they're just reacting because of it. That's not surprising. They're going to have to react
Yeah.
in some way. Just allowing everyone and their mom to broadcast music for free.
Yeah.
We
Well, that's the
couldn't have
problem is
imagined
when
that.
you're a small company, you can take the liability, right? I mean, chances are they're not going to sue you unless they can make a massive amount of money. But look who owns them now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's big pockets now behind Twitch all of a sudden, so they have to protect themselves.
Someone in the chat said it's only for VODs, but it's for 30-minute segments. So if they detect music or whatever, they'll mute you for 30 minutes, which is interesting. So right now, I guess it's fine if you play it in your live stream.
So everybody, increase your music to 1.2x speed when you're playing it in the background and just fudge their whole algorithm.
That would be really interesting. I wonder if you'd get in trouble for that, but it'd be really interesting to see, like, attempting to break Twitch algorithm, playing at different, like, speeds, like, mixing music, play 2 songs at the same time or something.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what could defeat that algorithm.
Someone should do it. Just try not to get banned. Maybe create,
Yeah.
like, a second account that you don't use that
Yeah,
much.
and Luke and I don't condone that.
We actually didn't say anything.
Yeah,
this
we
part
didn't
of the
say-
stream is going to be muted in the VOD.
Yep.
So don't worry about it.
Muted us.
That would be great.
They have the dissent algorithm. They're like, we have detected dissent within the Twitch network. We must be.
Let's get the NSA on this. All right, so next up we have the IBM Brainlike chip, which kind of blew my mind. Get it? Pun. When I first read about it. It has 1 million programmable neurons, 256 million programmable synapses across 4,096 individual neurosynaptic cores with 5.4 billion transistors. Ugh. This thing is a neuromorphic brain-like computer chip called True North, which is built on top of Samsung's 28-nanometer process. It consumes just 72 milliwatts at max load, and it is
Whoa.
176,000 times more efficient than a modern CPU running the same brain-like workload. So not doing just anything, but running a brain-like workload. whatever the crap that is. Kind of cool. They're talking about how it's the second generation version of one which was a prototype in 2011, and it's pretty much ready to go for commercial application, but I don't know where it's actually going to be used for commercial application. I see this more going to like research labs.
This would definitely be probably in the research space.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because I don't know how many people need those like brain-like applications, at least yet. I'm sure this will be in consumer devices in X amount of years, but even though they say it's ready now, I pretty much only see it in...
Yeah, your future iPhone's going to be back-talking you guys. So you're going to be like, I don't feel like it.
yeah. Hey, you didn't take me out for ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, the future.
I'm not telling you where your car is.
I'd imagine a CPU like this, though. I mean, this isn't designed for just running straight up binary operations.
No.
This is like multiple states. So so you'd have to write custom software, custom compiler, all that stuff. So I'd be curious to see what they ultimately use that for. But the power consumption kind of blows my mind. I'm like, why can they build something like this that consumes so little power, yet a conventional CPU still can like heat your coffee?
I think it's because they're so drastically different.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be able to do all the different things that a CPU can do.
Right.
And even though they say it's like brain-like processes, how brain-like actually is it?
When the last time you tried to calculate pi out to like the 4 millionth place, how long did it take you to do it? Because the computer can do it in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, so like maybe this thing's a lot more efficient at doing brain-like things because the CPU is actually faster and can't do it brain-like.
They probably just got a brain-like because dumb just wouldn't sell chips. Like, dumb chip.
It is incredibly not as good, so it's much more efficient at being bad.
Yeah, that's marketing for you.
Yeah, exactly. Our next-gen product, which is incredibly much better at being last-gen than the next-gen products of its competition. News that's probably super close to your heart is Xbox One lost Microsoft $400 million in gross margins last year. So they didn't just go down. It increased by $1.7 billion, their overall revenue, but it also cost them $2.1 billion to get there, which net a $400 million loss. So it's not that surprising. It's kind of to be expected with these massive launches, especially when it didn't sell quite as well as they expected. You have to do stuff like marketing, R&D, distribution, all that crap, and they have to pre-make all these machines, so they might even still have backstock of all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't know. Well,
it's like I remember back when they made the Xbox 360. I mean, they were paying 2.5 times the cost of the system to produce each one, so they were losing money hand over fist.
Yep.
And I'd imagine in this situation, it's probably not as bad. I'd hope they'd learn from their mistake. But still, in the beginning, you're going to take a huge hit, right?
Yeah, I've heard it's not nearly as bad. And I know PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, they were both losing money when you bought just the core system. If you bought like a controller in the same basket, then they made money or whatever. I can't remember what the exact breakdown was. But with Xbox One and PS4, they were making money even on just the core system. Well, so it's changed a bit.
Do you remember on PS3 when they were selling, people were buying them just as Blu-ray players?
Yeah.
And they were losing money like crazy because just a factory run-of-the-mill Blu-ray player at the time was like $100 more expensive than buying the console that did the better job. And I know that hurt them really bad in the beginning too. But honestly, I think the whole console thing's... I love consoles, but I think they just waited too long. I think 10 years and then coming out with other consoles, it's like everybody's kind of moved on to other things. Mobile gaming, desktop gaming. I think it's kind of killing that market down a little bit.
And I think they did it like too little too late is probably the perfect... I think that's the first time I've ever used that perfectly, is because it wasn't nearly strong enough and it was way too late. If they released this console a few years ago, maybe.
Well, I remember when the PS3 came out, it was like so beyond any generation of computer. The people were actually taking that cell processor, dropping Linux distros on it and using it for processing because no conventional computer could do it. Yeah. And now you've got the Xbox One, which pretty much has like 2-year-old, hardware in it. I mean, so I mean, there's like really, other than playing games on it, I guess there's no reason to go like, try to find a cure for cancer with it or something. But
I can't remember if it was the Navy or the Army or the Air Force or whatever, but some military cell in the States was using PlayStation 3 clusters as servers.
Oh, a lot of people were doing that.
Yeah.
The leading project on, so remember the SETI at home, the search for extraterrestrial
Yes. Yeah.
intelligence? Yeah, there was like the top ranking one in that list for like a year was just a bank of PS3s. They were so damn good at running those floating point numbers with that cell processor. It was awesome.
That's pretty crazy.
Yep.
They've kind of abandoned that though, and tried to be computers, which they're not good at doing because straight up normal computers are much better at that. Speaking of which, there's been kind of a mass exodus. I guess mass exodus isn't as great anymore now that Halo isn't in this. But there's been an exodus of Xbox One exclusive titles, which have now gone to PC. So we saw Dead Rising 3 not that long ago, and now Rise has been announced. Rise is going to be coming with support for 4K resolution, and it's also going to have downloadable extras from the console game. So it's going to have some nice little features for the PC that the console one didn't have, kind of unlike Dead Rising's, which was slightly not the most graceful leap over to PC. Then everyone was super stoked, including myself. I even went and like happily told my dad about this, and then was super sad when it didn't happen. But the Halo Master Chief Collector's Edition for PC is apparently not coming to PC. Yeah, so it was posted on Amazon, as you probably know, and I was incredible. I even tried to like pre-order it, and then I was
Did they even make a mouse? I thought they were selling a mouse that was themed after it.
They've got a mouse that's themed after it, but that's apparently unrelated. Aaron Greenberg has tweeted that it was an error at retail, and he's apologizing for the confusion that it's caused. But I'm still gonna hold off because I'm still not sure. I'm still willing to just hunker down and believe, and I'm gonna wait for Gamescom and PAX Prime.
I love Halo. Honestly, out of all the titles you mentioned, that's the only one I really cared about coming to PC. I would love to do multiplayer Halo.
I agree. I'll pick up Rise in like 2 summer sales from now when it's $5, and I'm not really that interested in picking up Dead Rising because who the hell cares? But Halo, being able to play Halo 2 online again. Oh,
as you can tell, I love Halo. I 3D printed the freaking whole helmet. I got my little action figures, dude. I love me some Halo.
That's epic. So yeah, it's happened before. That's the thing. The Amazon UK site has leaked quite a few different games by posting them early. So I'm wondering. I'm gonna go with this actually, just because I want it to happen so badly. There's no real reason for me to believe this at all, but I'm just gonna go with it anyways.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, exactly. I want to believe that tweet is just to throw people off.
It's just a cover up.
I think it's.
I believe it.
It's just a cover up. Because maybe they're trying to get people to settle down for a little bit so they can explode again with Gamescom or PAX Prime. Please make that be the truth. And if it's not, just make the damn thing. I don't care. Just bring it to PC.
Just copy the last one, port it to PC, put a new number on it, whatever. Just give it to us.
Halo's already been on PC before. Just bring it back again.
And people are still playing it today.
They are. And do you remember what happened with Halo 2 when they were shutting down the online servers? All the people that refused to disconnect.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay, so they couldn't shut down the servers until everyone disconnected for some reason. And there were people that stayed in a game lobby that would just keep recreating... I think, was it one map or recreating maps? I don't remember. But they just stayed in a game and refused to quit. And people were like donating the money to buy fans and AC units and stuff to try and keep their Xboxes running. And they stayed in that game. I don't remember for how long, but I think it was like a week or 2 or something. And they just kept it going so they couldn't shut down the servers. And then eventually, like, people were falling off because of console failure, overheat, red ring, whatnot. And then finally it came down to one person, and he or she lasted for a little while, and then it finally died out. People liked Halo 2 Online. I really liked Halo 2 Online. It's the only console game that I've got into like really heavily.
No, I love it. As far as console, that's probably the one game that I love playing on console and on PC, like the same. Like I love just sitting down and playing it on console. But it's funny because this is probably the one time Microsoft was actually thankful that all the consoles were dying.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry, we ran the statistics. They can only run the Xbox for 43.2 hours before it red rings.
It will red ring. Linus, go back and take care of your baby. Get out of the chat.
Oh, is he in here?
He's in the chat. What a nerd.
Just right click and ignore him. Like, let's just get him out of here. Large Linus is here today.
Yeah,
Linus needs to take care of his spawn. Go take care of your spawn, Linus.
Yeah, so like I said, there was the mouse, which had a lot of people thinking that the Halo Master Chief Collection was already coming to PC. Just the mouse made people think that, and then when there was the so-and-so false posting on Amazon, it made people think that even more. So I don't know. Hopefully it happens, but there's less than no guarantee at this point. So
I'm
we're
with you
not
though. I'm
sure.
holding on to the conspiracy.
Me too. It's not even that far away, so I won't even feel that bad if it doesn't come true because Gamescom and PAX are both within like a month. So
Hey,
it's not a big
should we
deal.
just Half-Life 3 this thing and just encourage everybody to go create the confirmed memes for
We're
it?
gonna Half-Life 3, but later on in the show.
Okay, good.
That'll
Good.
happen, trust me. Okay, did you read this topic? This seems right up your alley. The cat caller that searches for vulnerable Wi-Fi hotspots.
No.
Do you know what war driving is? I'm assuming you know what
Yeah.
war
Oh,
driving is.
dude, I used to war drive. As a
Yeah,
matter of
so did
fact,
I.
can I just tell you just a really quick story?
Do it.
At one point, I had a car PC. I built a completely custom car PC. I'll post pictures. I even fiberglass screen in the dashboard. Ran
Dude.
Windows XP. Had a drawer in the trunk. Everything. Anyways, I had a USB wireless access point that went up that was on the rear deck. And at one point between Microsoft in my house, I was able to set up a route where I could jump from one Wi-Fi to another between two access points and seamlessly maintain my internet connection all the way home. So I could stream like YouTube, music on Pandora, everything with no cellular signal, all the way from the time I left the parking lot to the time I pulled into my driveway.
Super beast.
That's
I
awesome.
may or may not have done that when I used to work somewhere, and I did it my drive between home and there as well. But yeah, that's called war driving. So essentially, you used to drive through an area, bike, car, whatever, and have your laptop pick up vulnerable or completely unencrypted wireless networks, so that you can create this like map of unsecure wireless networks that you can connect to along your way to whatever route, or just gathering information on a whole bunch of potentially vulnerable points. So someone has taken that idea and adapted it to a cat. So he has outfitted his cat Coco with a specially made collar built from a Wi-Fi card, a GPS module, a battery, and a Spark
Oh
Core
my
chip.
god.
The device runs custom software that looks for Wi-Fi signals, like we were just saying, and records ones that are open or poorly protected with old encryption like WEP, which is like
Yeah.
useless at this point in time, essentially.
Yep.
So I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And
Well,
I
there used to be a database online too. I remember that certain war dialing software that you ran would actually upload it to the database so everybody could search for these unsecure networks, even
yeah,
without identifying them first. Yeah, no, that was a really big deal. But that's clever to attach it to your cat and just let him go roam the neighborhood and find you networks. That's pretty hilarious. And then you can put a high gain antenna on your house and reach out and grab them.
I thought that was kind of funny. It's just, I think it's cool. It maybe sucks for people that don't have secure networks, but I think it's a cool little project. I can't believe he made that thing. I think that'd be hilarious because you can map where your cat goes too, so you can see if it has like a secondary family. You can see
Yep.
if your chat's cheating on you, cat is cheating on you, maybe with someone with very insecure, crappy Wi-Fi.
I don't think people should be like jumping on other people's networks and stuff
No,
like that. But honestly, it's one of those things where by identifying the network and getting it out there, hopefully it causes them to close the hole. Like I remember back in the day, people used to just connect to unsecure networks and find shared printers on your computer because inside your house you usually don't secure your network. A lot of
yeah.
people didn't back in the day. So you'd just be sitting there, and your printer would just be spitting out sheets of paper like, "Oh, hey, I got your, hey, I'm printing this, I'm on your network, I'm on your network." And then they're like, "Oh crap, I better go figure out what's going on." So at least sometimes it helps them find it, or your cable provider comes out and goes, "Oh yeah, you've been sharing movies for like 6 months off your connection," and this like little old lady's like, "What's a share movie?" It's like,
I don't understand.
I don't know. Oh my god, that's priceless though, man. I didn't read that. That's awesome.
I don't know. I used to, like I said, I used to do it back in the day, but mostly what you're gonna get is stuff like coffee shops or whatever. I don't know if this is super common in the States, but one thing that's pretty big up here, at least in BC, is different coffee shops will have this thing called Shaw Open. Shaw is one of the ISP providers, and
Yeah.
they'll put routers in these coffee shops and secure them, but they show up as unsecured networks. It's like the browser login style.
Yep.
Um,
That's really common down here also. I think even Starbucks down here, they give you access, but you have to go through a web page and agree to their terms of service first.
Yeah, and that would be super annoying. But oh well, too bad. I did it when I was still learning. So one thing that you might be interested in, actually, while we're on the whole like programming learning topic, is we started filming a super fun today. But as this week has been pretty crazy, and both the editing and film guys have no free time because they're drastically behind. catch up. I had to think of some way to do a super fun which wouldn't take up a ton of their time. So I decided to troll the absolute crap out of Taryn, one of the guys at our work. And the way that I did it was by using a screen melter program.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you know about those.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking you might be able to make like a partner video for our super fun on how to make one, which I think would be pretty cool. With your, I don't remember what it's called,
Ooh,
Code Camp
yeah.
or whatever.
Codegasm.
Codegasm, yeah. So if you make a Codegasm video that goes along with the channel Superfun video, you can show people how to do it.
Yeah, it's all about the SEO, man. It's like when you put gasm on the end of things, people run into it on accident for some reason. I don't know why.
Well,
They just
I don't know why they do that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, definitely talk to me after the show. We can definitely do an episode on how to create prank apps, because I've probably created hundreds of them over the last 15 years at Microsoft, and most of them were pretty successful because I know all the little nooks and crannies to put things where people can't find it.
That's fantastic. I did it in a super ghetto way. I had a fairly elegant way that I was planning on doing it. Because he's running a hard drive in his system, I put it on the startup so that he would hopefully turn his computer on and then sit there while other things are loading, and then all of a sudden it would just randomly happen, at least in his eyes. But he turned his computer on knowing that it had a hard drive and just walked away because it was going to take so long to boot. So I had to think of some other way of doing it. So instead of setting up like a timer or anything more elegant like that, I just plugged a mouse in and waited for him to be using his computer, and then I launched it while he was using his computer.
Awesome.
So,
That's awesome. I actually have a program I want to give you to go prank somebody one time.
Okay.
It's I called it Tourette's. And
don't. I know what you're talking about. Don't.
Okay, I made this program. I'll go find the source code for it and send it to you. It's priceless.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll use that. I just don't want people to know what it is yet. I must be malicious.
I'll even show you how to hide it so they can't find it.
Perfect.
Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh. Oh, continue.
Okay, we're gonna move on. So we're gonna get to the topic that you really didn't like, but the NVIDIA PhysX disabled when a non-Nvidia GPU is detected in your system.
I just can't see the reason for them doing. I mean, the only reason I could see them wanting to do something like this is that they don't want to be held liable for bugs and stuff that are exposed through the incompatibility, because they don't own the whole hardware ecosystem at that point.
Their excuse is NVIDIA says high quality experience in such a scenario cannot be guaranteed. But guys, come on. People have been using this for so long. It was fine. I've literally never heard anyone complain about it at all. So
no, I think
it's
just a play to force upgrade to ATI. I mean,
yeah, like I love you guys, but no. So this is coming in NVIDIA's new 340.5 drivers. It's going to be enabling Shield tablet features, but it's also going to have the feature where it disables your PhysX GPU. So if you're trying to run like a Beast R9 card and a little NVIDIA card for PhysX, maybe not going to work anymore, or you're going to have to run older drivers, which you can do. Just make sure you don't update your drivers beyond that for this to work, and then maybe you'll run into problems in the future, but it'll at least work for a little while now. Yeah, I don't know. Not cool. I'm not super stoked for this. Personally, that's not the scenario that I run, but I do know people personally that do run this scenario, and it will affect them. And obviously, like I just said, they'll be able to last for a while by just not upgrading their driver software at all. But that's going to eventually not be a very elegant solution.
Well, looking at it from the marketing standpoint, I mean, obviously, if people can get a good PhysX experience from a cheap little GPU that's no longer relevant or supported, that's not good business for them. They want you to run their product. So by cutting off the competition and saying, okay, you have to be running NVIDIA everything to get PhysX, some of those people may actually like that. That may be enough to, just put them over the top. And go get it.
So it's not going to affect stuff like if you have onboard Intel chips or anything like that. So don't worry. I saw one person in the chat freak out about that. It's just like dedicated card differentials. I don't know. This is just not really cool. I can't say I'm surprised, to be honest, but I didn't expect it.
It just seems like they actually had to go out of their way to like disable the feature. And all the card was doing was processing PhysX. So was it really doing any work with the other GPU? It doesn't sound like it was. It sounds like it was just sitting there and independently doing its thing.
Yeah, I just jumped to the Twitch chat and I see some guy saying AMD sucks with 1 billion exclamation marks, and then someone else saying NVIDIA is for hipsters. So good job, fanboys. Winning arguments.
Fanboys, you are holding up the internet. You are single-handedly holding up the internet because
You're the
without
only
your
reason.
wars, we'd have far too much bandwidth to get into other trouble.
You're the
Okay.
only reason why your company is able to exist. So good job, fanboys. Apparently, from here on out, any NVIDIA GPU that runs PhysX will have to be a GeForce 8 series or later with a minimum of 256 megabytes of memory. So that's not exactly a huge requirement. No really big deal there. And yeah, I don't know, because that's when NVIDIA introduced introduced CUDA. That got fairly uninteresting because there's not a lot of information other than they're just going to make it stop working.
And that's why I believe that it's not. If it was a technical hurdle and they were like, we're rewriting the whole stack for PhysX to favor new features on later generation processors or something, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But if they're just like, yeah, we're turning it off, that's more
Yeah.
of like a we're sad that people out there are like trying to use ATI and NVIDIA, and it's like ruining our whole fanboy campaign.
Yeah, apparently they are working on a resolution for PhysX issues with AMD APUs. So we'll see what happens there.
So the APU will be a supported scenario?
I think maybe that's like an eventuality. I think it might be a problem right now, but they do say they are working with it, so hopefully that happens. And then here's your Half-Life 3 rumors thing, which we'll do before we jump into...
Have you seen all the tweets I've been sending out for like the last 3 weeks? All the Half-Life 3 stuff I was photoshopping?
So we're going to give you some more fodder for that fire.
Yes.
Give me one quick second. All right, if I jump over here, Source 2 found in files. I have a picture here which you guys totally aren't going to be able to see at all because screen sharing is not working at all.
It's a square dark gray window with some white text in it. I'm just trying to help.
Good work. Good work. I appreciate it. I'm not going to have time to open up the doc, but essentially it's a picture of the directory setup for... Oh, can I get a link from this? Is that possible? No. Give me a quick second. I will post something in the chat. So I'm going to post the original thread, which is by Lots of Unexplainable Lag, which is a fantastic name, I have to say. Okay, so I just spammed that in the chat. If you're watching the VOD of this, you'll be able to see it in the description down below, hopefully. Or you'll be able to jump to the doc on the forum, which you'll be able to see the doc in the description down below, and then you'll be able to go to the doc, which will show you the link, which is on the forum. There we go. That was a whole bunch of jumps. But essentially, someone found it in a Source 2 directory, because that's the most hidden way they could have possibly done it, which came with a big update for Dota 2's SDK, which is called Hammer. Many are speculating that it's actually Source 2 as a soft launch instead of a hard launch, and Valve has stated that this is a developer-focused release and currently has high system requirements. So, not denying it, which is fantastic, because that does sound like it could be a soft launch, just so people can tinker with it before they actually hard launch it later on. All the files would share a name with Source Engine, and they also are qualified with the number 2. So, as you guys can see in there, maybe...
Well, let's be honest, too. You do have to check the include hidden objects to see it, so, you know.
Whoa!
So not everybody's going to be able to just find this. I mean, only the true hacksaws.
I run that by default. So, I guess I'm pretty badass. I don't know, not really. Yeah, it's... Gabe Newell has said, we've been waiting for a game to roll it, Source 2, out with. And he also said that it's a new engine altogether, not a mere extension of the existing Source technology. So that's probably why you're seeing that folder. They've updated Hammer with this possibly Source 2 stuff so that they can roll it out later on. I think this is pretty interesting because that means we have another thing that's on the 2 nomenclature. Where we will eventually get a title that is 3, and it will be Half-Life. I just don't know when.
But the most brilliant thing would be is if Half-Life 3 ran on the Source 2 engine. that'd be awesome.
They're just like, no, we will not release a series of 3s. What I'm kind of hoping is that this is, again, something that's happening pre-Gamescom and PAX Prime. So hopefully they go, hey, yeah, Source 2 at Gamescom and PAX Prime, even though this definitely isn't like a very official announcement as someone just randomly found it. And this I would believe even more than the Microsoft Halo thing, which I'm just choosing to believe, because they're not denying it.
Yeah.
They're saying it's new stuff. They're just saying it's for developers and it has high system requirements currently. So maybe it needs more optimizations. Maybe it needs to be tinkered with some more. but it's
Well,
yeah.
from a software developer perspective too, chances are if the engine's in its in an earlier stage like this, it's probably debug code. So it's probably
Yeah.
heavily filled with lots of additional code that just gets cut out for the final product. But they need that code to find all the bugs early on.
That makes sense, and that's
Yeah.
probably it. So it's probably going to be much more streamlined later on, which is great. So this is interesting and cool because every single time that there's a source update, so many games just get better. It used to
Yeah.
be the Unreal Engine, and it still kind of is, but definitely Source at this point in time will ramp up a whole bunch of stuff. Now we're going to actually jump to sponsors real quick, which I'm terrible at doing sponsor spots, but apparently when we have horrible sponsor spots, it's fine. So let me see if I can do this. I think I'm going to have to re-grab you because I don't think you're going to be here. Nope. Crap. All right, give me a second. We're going to grab you again. Not in that way. Settle down.
I was just getting excited too.
No.
Aw.
Okay, so you're a little bit smaller than you should be.
I thought that was like a
There we
Canadian
go.
handshake, like just grabbing people. Like
Just minor molestation. That's Canadian handshakes. So we're starting with 5-4 Club, whose shirt I'm currently wearing. This one fits better than the other one, which some people have pointed out. That's just because I have large pectoral muscles, or at least I would like to believe. So we're doing 5-4 giveaways. We've been doing this for quite a while. You can enter to win in multiple different ways. One is by liking an Instagram picture, which I will post in the Twitch chat right now.
I liked the Instagram picture once.
Once? Was it exciting?
It was very exciting.
Is that the only one you've ever liked?
No, I've liked a lot of them. I'm sorry I lied to you. Now I feel bad.
Okay,
Sorry.
so you've cheated on that one Instagram picture?
I did.
Oh, jeez. That's embarrassing. Anyways, you also have to follow 5-4. It's just at 5-4 on Instagram. And comment hashtag Linus Tech Tips. And just say something cool, and we put into a draw, which we drawed on one day to win a 5-4 package. Just so you guys know, if you want to sign up for 5-4, it costs $60 a month, but you get $120 a month worth of stuff like this shirt. You have to go through like a stylistic profiling thing where they profile you, but not your psychology. They profile what you like to wear, which could be a part of psychology. I don't really know. Someone's calling me. Let me see who it is. Hello? Yep.
I did sound like you for a second. Just a reminder that either Saturday or Sunday is your brother's birthday. I'm not sure. Is it the 9th today?
Yeah, I'm hanging out with Richard on Saturday. You're on the show, by the way.
No, I am not.
Yeah,
You are. You totally are.
Well, tell everybody I say hi.
We can hear you.
They can hear you. You're on speakerphone.
Hi, Barnacules.
Hi.
He says hi.
All right, I'm going to let you get back at it. I'm sorry. I forgot.
No problem. Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Calls during the sponsor spot. Fantastic.
Awesome. That was
5-4
awesome.
likes partially screwed up integration, so whatever. Maybe your mom wants... You know what? You probably are not that great at clothing yourself. Sorry if you are. I'm not, though. So I could probably gain from 5-4 Club. And I know my mom would probably appreciate it if I did, because I still have... I'm wearing shorts that she literally bought for me in grade 8.
Yeah, let's hear you
Because I
say
just
that again
refuse to
after
buy
seeing
more
this.
Fubu clothes.
Huh?
That's actually kind of fantastic.
Yeah, it is. Can't clothe myself. Come on, dude.
I can't, so I just assume everyone else can't. You know what? Maybe you can. I'm sorry.
I haven't bought it in months, dude. Every shirt I get is just clicking a button online and it gets mailed to me.
This is going to sound terrible, but every single time I get a new girlfriend, I go up in clothing because they get frustrated by the clothes that I wear. They buy me new clothes.
Oh, that's an interesting, girlfriend.
Horrible, but it's not actually a good thing. Okay, moving on. It takes you about a minute or less to actually set up your style profile. You essentially go through and it's like, would you like, what one of these would you like? And you pick like one pair of shoes or one shirt or whatever, and then it'll tailor your shipments to that kind of style of clothing. Pretty cool. If you sign up right now with offer code Linus, you get $15 off your first month. And they have a friend referral program where if you refer someone, you get $15 off of your next month's membership as well. Then next up, we have... I'm going to have to fix it again because it's going to be broken again.
I'm gonna give that service a try. Actually, I like that because every other subscription shirt service I've done, you already know what's coming. I'd like to just get surprised.
Yeah, I think the whole idea of 5-4 Club is that you can be the biggest, laziest person ever. and they'll just take care of everything, which is fantastic because you know what? I actually don't mind going shopping with people for them, but I don't like shopping for myself.
I'm the same way.
Like I can help people pick things out, but if I'm shopping for myself, I'm just gonna be like, I'm bored. I don't want to do this.
I went and bought two pairs of tailored jeans once in my entire life, and it was like the most horrible experience ever. It's like some people like that. It's like, oh, here, have some water. We're gonna tailor your jeans. And I can't stand it. It's like I just want to go buy them and cuff them up and say screw
it. Exactly. Yeah. All right, so jumping up to Lynda.com, quite a few people in the office use this. I've used it in the past, and I currently use it. My mom, speaking of which, has used it to try and learn Excel. Taryn, one of our editors, has gained a whole bunch of editing skills by learning them on Lynda.com. You can learn tons of stuff, and one thing that I actually suggest it for, which is interesting because Jerry's on the stream, is learning programming. I've talked to tons of people that want to get into programming that are in high school that are like, yeah, my course is really boring.
Is it a video-based service too? Like video learning, or is it not? Because that's like, honestly, most of all the coding knowledge that I have is from taking video, like a current coding knowledge is from video courses that I've taken over the course of many years, because it's just, you can slow them down, you can speed them up, you can play them back, you can keep going back. I mean, it's honestly the best way to learn.
It's great. I love Lynda.com. And like the reason why I suggest it to people in high school still is because tons of people aren't challenged by their high school programs, and you can go on Lynda.com and learn freaking anything. Like I've said, they have thousands of courses and they're adding new ones every single week, and programming is one of their main sections. So if you want to learn stuff about programming, really good place to go. If
just
you
watch Codegasm first, though. They got to watch Codegasm and then
just share the love. Go to Codegasm for some of your stuff. Go to Lynda.com for other parts of your stuff. You probably need a whole bunch of stuff to learn anyways. If you jump on and go to Lynda.com/WAN Show, you get a 7-day free trial. And yeah, plans start at about $25 a month, but you get tons of stuff to learn, and it's gonna be something that's gonna be easy to get like your mom to get behind. Be like, Mom, I'm not learning enough at school. I want to learn more.
Well, like a single good programming book is like, you can be $60. So that's
$60 is like pretty cheap.
Well, no, I'm not talking about like textbooks from college. I'm talking about like if you want to go buy like the C# Bible or something like that, one of the larger reference material books, or like C# for Dummies and stuff. You can pay $30 to $60 for a single book. So I'd rather have a month of unlimited access to everything.
Yeah, and I know a ton of people that don't do very well with learning programming out of books anyways. If you can get someone to talk to you or be much more interactive, I've seen it go a lot better.
I agree.
Concurred.
I concur, Luke.
Oh, yes. All right, we're going to jump back up in the dock, back to other topics. So Silverstone has shown off a power supply. I hope this isn't under NDA because we have it, which I'm super stoked about because it's for small form factor. It is an SFX PSU. So a lot of people complain that you can't really do like awesome overclock builds with mini ITX systems. But now you can, because they have a 600 watt 50 amp available on 12 volt rail power supply, which is fully modular and semi fanless. I believe it's 20% load or below. It will do a no spin mode for the fan. So that mode isn't super high, but it exists. So when you're running idle or whatever, you can have a potentially silent-ish or silent small form factor build that does kind of matter, because if you get some type of fan controller that can do thermal load where you can have all your fans go off, you could basically have everything off at a pretty idle rate as long as you have fairly good radiators.
Are a lot of case manufacturers actually adopting that form factor too?
It's slowly becoming a thing.
Because that's what pisses me off, is I built so many of these little systems, and usually when they die, you have to throw the whole case away and like go buy another one. Because like every power supply is proprietary.
Yeah. It is becoming a thing more and more these days, especially lately, and I bet you with the announcement of this power supply, there's going to be even more, because one of the biggest complaints that people have had is you can't really get appropriate power supplies for these systems. So now if you're going for like crazy overclock balls to the wall system, which a lot of people still want to do with mini ITX, you'll actually be able to do it, because 600 watts is quite a bit to play with, to be completely honest.
For a small system, definitely. And I want to build media centers, and I want to build small media centers, and that's been my only holdback so far.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't want to buy these cases that have these proprietary supplies. So that's really cool.
Actually, a video that I'm planning on working on while Linus is away is I'm going to be comparing mass wattage versus low wattage. So I'm going to be taking two very good power supplies, but comparing a very good but lower wattage power supply versus a very good, very high wattage power supply, just to prove that having a 1200 watt power supply versus a 600 watt power supply with a fairly standard system isn't actually going to help you. But what I'm not trying to prove, because you don't want to do that, is having a really crappy power supply in a really heavily overclocked system. You want a reliable one. You just don't necessarily need 1500 watt whatever the crap, because you probably don't have that much stuff in your system. You might.
I've got 1300 watts of power in my system.
I was gonna say you might. There's definitely gonna be people out there.
Didn't say I was using it though.
Yeah. But I don't know. For a large percentage of people, it won't be that big of a deal.
Yeah, and your chances are you're not going to stuff a big enough GPU in that system anyways to need that giant power requirement.
All right,
I would
so
just see somebody do that though. Just hey, if somebody out there builds a tiny little system that has like the little extension cable that goes to like a Titan taped to the side of it, that'd be awesome to have like a micro ITX build with a Titan, and the Titan's like an integral part of the case.
If someone got like little what do you call it? Ventilation hold fiberglass kind of plate container things, and just glued them all to all four sides of his case and put 4 Titan blacks around a mini ITX system.
They just fill the whole thing with mineral oil and just have it circulate it. Do it. Somebody needs to do that. Yes. Are there any millionaires out there that want to do this?
Yeah, really. Do I still have Titan blacks behind me? Can I just be baller on the show? Yep. Wait for it. I'm
waiting.
Oh.
Dude, I hate you guys. Seriously? Dude, I'm all like poor people here. 80s still.
Barnacules just gets see me rub a Titan black against my face. Oh, I'm so excited to install these. You've heard about the room water cooling project, right?
Yes. I actually had some input on it. I told you guys you need to put a kiddie pool on the outside with an actual spout at the end of the loop. So you guys would have like warm water. Like you could probably replace the water heater in your house with that thing.
I remember you saying that actually now. We've ringed my dad in. My dad is like a pretty beast mode plumber. He was a pretty beast mode plumber for a while, and then he's started instructing now at a university. So he knows what he's doing, and we're going to get him to do hard line piping around most of the room, and he's doing a return line as well, and he's made our original idea much more legit, and he's actually going to be doing the install for a lot of that stuff.
I will make you a deal. You can pass this on to Linus. If you guys find a way to put a shower head on there and a kiddie pool, I will drive my ass up to Canada and I will take a shower in that damn kiddie pool. I will do it as a part of.
We're trying to make sure that it is like very well contained, so that we won't get any contaminants in the loop, because that could be a pretty big issue.
Dude, I don't contaminants.
I don't think you're showering, man. The whole point of having a shower is to get
microbial. I don't even go out of this room. I live here, dude.
That doesn't mean that there's no contaminants. The skin is naturally oily. Anyways,
don't argue with me.
I think we're going to try and do it as legit as possible. But yeah, we have a whole bunch of new plans now that my dad has been looped into it. So
that's cool. So you guys are going to just have like quick disconnects and everything, so you can just pop the systems off.
Quick disconnects all over the place. It's going to be set up so that there's an external radiator on every system, and then quick disconnects coming out of the case and quick disconnects sitting on the external radiator on every system, so that if you want to disconnect it from the room and take it somewhere else, you can quick disconnect off the room, quick disconnect up into the radiator, and still be good to go.
You know what you guys should do is just take a whole bunch of like 4 extra radiators and just leave them on a shelf. That way you don't have to put one on every computer. You just basically take the radio over and like snap it to the side of it, and then when you're done, you unplug it and plug it back in. That'd be pretty cool too.
That's not a bad idea. I think we're just going to leave them strapped into the system, because the idea is every system will have an internal reservoir, which shouldn't normally be used. Maybe it is. I don't remember exactly how it works. Internal reservoir, internal pump, which will be used. We're going to have D5s in every computer, which we'll be pushing all the time, just to help the little giant pump that we have in the other room.
No, that's a smart move, because you don't want the first system in the loop like blowing a hose.
Yeah.
Like the PSI is so high. Yeah. No, that's cool.
So that'll be helping. So essentially, literally all that will happen. You don't even have to take the side panel off. You have to do nothing to be able to remove, almost nothing, to be able to take one of the computers and put it somewhere else, because you just quick disconnect off, quick disconnect in, and that's it. The quick disconnects are going to be laying there waiting all the time. So that'll be
that is so cool.
So if we need to like take one downstairs to film or whatever, it'll be no problem. So that'll be a really exciting project. And like I said, we looped my dad into that. And speaking of looping people into things, I have some shout-outs for stuff that's happened on the forum. We have a shout-out to the Boink team for passing a 1 billion point mark, which is pretty insanity. And our folding team is now in 42nd place.
Wow.
Why can't I talk? And they just passed the 2 billion point mark. So holy crap. Good job, everyone. That's awesome. Also, a call out for featured build logs. I know people have been asking a lot of questions about that lady. I just said lady. I can't talk right now. I need liquids, but my Powerade's out. Anyways,
there you go.
We're having an update for that. We now have. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Get the beady.
I now have other people running it because I was careless and couldn't keep up with it. So now Whaler and Alpenwasser and a few other people are trying to manage it and make sure that it actually happens. So we had a proper one last month, but we're going to have kind of a catch-up month. So we're having a featured build log submission post, kind of open grazing, just submit all the stuff event where pretty much anyone can submit their builds. Yeah, basically anyone with a completed build can submit. Just make sure to follow the posting format. So check out the build log section of the forum and submit your builds there. And I think when there's either a timed version or when we get to 100 submissions, we're going to be moving it to a voting thread. Then we're going to have a big summary of like all the awesome builds that have happened in the last little while, and then we're going to go back to a monthly or quarterly schedule for build logs. But it's actually going to be happening properly now because now there's a group of us managing it and not just me, because we all saw how well that went. Oh well. Now, the most important news of the day, by far the most important news, probably that you'll hear this quarter or maybe even possibly this year. Yoshi's full name has been revealed. His name is T. Yoshi Soar Munchakoopas.
What does the T stand for?
No one knows! T. Yoshi Soar Munchakoopas. Ridiculous. I think I'm just going to keep on calling him Yoshi, but maybe if I'm trying to be formal when I'm asking him to run his cart a little bit faster in Mario Kart 8, I can say Yoshi Soar Munchakoopas. Blake Harris unearthed the character's name from a copy of the Nintendo Character Guide from 1993.
I bet they were hoping that would never be re-earthed.
Probably, because that is not the greatest name ever. I think it's actually kind of cool because Yoshi, which is way better, but then Soar, because he kind of looks like a dinosaur, that makes sense. And then Munchakoopas is probably the best last name they probably could have given him.
I agree. It's very accurate, too.
Yeah, exactly. Mario is also apparently not a traditional human being. He is a different species. He's a different species called Homo Nintendous. Nintendonus? I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. I think it's
Donus sounds cooler, though. Let's go with Nintendonus.
Nintendonus.
It's Homo Nintendonus.
Mario is Homo Nintendonus.
From here on out, everybody, when a plumber is at your house, refer to them as Homo Nintendonus.
I hope that I'm going to call my dad. Next time I talk to my dad, I'll be like, Father Nintendonus. Can you help us with our water cooling project?
They're just like regular humans, except for their pants can't go above their ass crack. That's like that's the difference.
Mario has overall things, and they stay up.
That's why they wear overalls now, you know. Because pants, that butt crack just keeps going for days.
Because it's Nintendo, and they had to make sure that they didn't have anything scandalous showing on screen. It makes sense. I get it. Anyways, that was obviously not the most important news of the week, but I kind of thought it was awesome. I know Dorkly right now, this isn't in the doc
I love Dorkly. Oh my god. It's one of my favorite YouTube channels. Oh my gosh.
Let me see if I can find this website. Yes, the best Nintendo character ever. I'll spam this in the chat right now. They're currently having a voting contest for this. And I went through and did the whole thing. It's kind of cool how they do it, because it's fairly... You get, I think, 112 matchups. And as you go through, it's kind of like voting people off, not necessarily voting people in, because as you narrow down your 112 competitions, you'll start seeing the same people popping up. And essentially what it's trying to do is find your favorites. So say Link is your favorite because he's currently voted worldwide favorite right now. You'll see him a whole bunch of times, and the final matchup will be Link versus someone else.
Seriously, the Wii Fit trainer?
Yeah, man. I voted for her a couple times.
I bet you did.
Dude,
you're probably hoping to get
her in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. She's really good. She's actually really good. Like, that's why I voted for her, because I was like, oh, whatever, I'll pick her as a joke, and then I did really well.
I just threw a vote for you, buddy. I did.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. See, I've got Toad versus Dark Samus. It's so hard, some of these votes. But it's interesting, because you get to see how everyone stacked up in your voting once you're done, and you get to see how everyone stacks up overall. So right now the top 5 are Link in number 1, and then Samus Aran in number 2. 3 is Mario, 4 is Princess Zelda, and then 5 is Red, which is like Ash, but in the game series. So I don't know. That's pretty cool. They have 50 different ones. Last place right now is Bowser Jr. Sorry, buddy. All right. But they have it from a whole bunch of different Nintendo titles. So if you want to kind of have some fun, maybe check out that Dorkly thread. Yeah. I don't know.
That's cool.
I think it's pretty interesting. I don't know if there's like a cutoff date or anything. So I don't know. I didn't see it anywhere, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's just kind of for fun. Anyways.
I voted for like 5 or 6, and then I got bored and closed it. But that ADHD is a hell of a thing.
I was wondering, the only reason why I kept going and finished the whole thing was I was actually wondering how they did it, because I would notice every once in a blue moon when I went through the first few, because I was like, they're gonna have 112 matchups. This is gonna be ridiculous. And then the ranking system for that's gonna be weird, because if you have like a super popular character voted against a not super popular character, obviously they're gonna win. So I was trying to figure out how they did it. So I kept on going, and then I started seeing things showing up more and more, and I was like, I think I understand. And then when it came down to the very end, and it was the 2 that I had voted for like a billion times, I was like, all right, I understand.
That's pretty cool.
Next up is Toxikk. Pretty sure I'm saying that right. It's spelled Toxikk. So, pretty sure it's Toxikk. It is a PC-only arena FPS. It's classic FPS-style action, like Unreal Tournament kind of thing going on. All players are always equal, so there's no, like, leveling system or perks or bullshit, and that's part of the whole idea. My favorite thing is it goes through and it's like, no leveling system, no blah blah blah, no all this kind of stuff, arena style combat, and then they start going through stuff they do have. They have different arena modes, they have vehicle mode, they have all this other kind of stuff, and then at the very end it says free to play, and I was like, oh no, you're gonna ruin the whole thing. And then there's this huge stamp that goes right over it. It's like, no. I was like, yay!
They're like microtransactions. Just kidding.
Yeah, seriously. In the comments of the video, I saw 1 billion people saying that it's kind of funny that a marketing stance nowadays for a game is to say, you have to pay for this. And people are like, yeah!
I know. How did that happen?
Weird. How messed up is the gaming industry?
Remember, like back in the shareware days, right? They'd give you like a part of the game, and then you could pay if you wanted the rest of the game, and that was fine. But now they've changed the dynamic to where it's like now you go buy the game or get the game for free, like Blacklight Retribution, for instance. A lot of people like that game. You get in there, and then it's like people are like walking around with mechs and got like indestructible armor, and you're like running around with like your Daisy Red Ryder pump action BB gun. And it drives me absolutely nuts.
Or you've got if you have an Intel SSD, you get those boots that make you run faster.
Yep. That's why the games like Unreal Tournament and stuff, where you just jump in and it's like, it's actually your skill. Yeah. It's not like COD where you're like level 60 prestige and you got the gun where you just push a button and the bullet finds somebody and kills them. You're just like, pew, kill, pew, kill. It's not that bad, but it's still pretty bad.
Yeah, I hear you. So the idea is that they're going to have classic styled and massive maps, both of them. It's going to be exclusively for PC, which is one of the big things they're pushing. And it's developed by Reactor. They're, again, spelled kind of weird, Reaktor. They're an indie studio, but they have members that have at least 10 years of experience with game development all over the place. So they're kind of a big deal. I'm pretty excited for this to come out, but I'm going to curb my enthusiasm because the last PC-only rah-rah game that I really got behind that released, so I'm not including Star Citizen right now, was Hard Reset. And we might all know how well that went. So hopefully this works quite well. Not like PC really needs more exclusives because we have tons of them, but I'll welcome it. And hopefully if we get all of the Xbox exclusives at some point so that there aren't any anymore, and then we have PC exclusives, the console guys won't even have that argument anymore, so I'm cool with that.
PC Master Race!
Yeah! Anyways, Crytek CEO is actually starting to pay people again, hopefully. and he has fully admitted to delaying paychecks. Sketchy. Some of the things that he has said is that he had two choices, really. He either had a choice to delay paychecks, delay, they're not getting paid, he's just delaying them to a further date, or to push your cash flow directly to studios and file for insolvency, because basically he's saying he had to delay paychecks or get rid of the entire company. Both of them were bad, and he had to make a decision out of two bad decisions, which is actually a pretty good point. He's saying that he also informed employees that they told everyone that this was going to happen, and said that they would offer help if people wanted to essentially resign and find another job. I was all on it when he had his little pep talk about being like, I was stuck between a rock and a hard place and I had to make one bad decision out of two, blah, 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 blah. But then when he's like, I gave them the option to freely resign or get a delayed paycheck. I think at that point in time, you have to give them a severance package because you're being a jerk. Doesn't matter if you only had two bad decisions, you're still being a jerk. Doesn't matter if you had to be a jerk, you're still being a jerk. I don't think you have to be like, you quit for nothing and we'll help you find another job, or you take a delayed paycheck. That's not right. That's not right at all. So I do feel bad for the dude, and I'm happy that they did get a whole bunch of money from They're Not Saying Yet. But I don't know. Maybe still kind of dealt with it a little bit better by treating your employees a little bit better. Then if you did, this leak probably wouldn't have been as bad. Considering you've been on all of the last like 3 or 4 WAN shows, you're probably doing something wrong. Usually if you do something really good, you get on one WAN show. Anyways, so in other news, EA is not doing something terrible. They're giving BF4 trial for a week. I believe it's 168 hours of game time, so you can clock those game time hours whenever you want because of their kind of free-to-play system. Not too surprising though, because Hardline's coming, or is already out. I don't know. It's coming.
No,
right?
they released the beta for a little while and then they pulled it back. So we don't know. I don't actually know what the release time for the game is, but I liked it. I actually thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so my thought process in this is they're probably trying to build hype for Battlefield 4 again so that they can drop Hardline, and then all the people that got all the hype for Battlefield 4 can buy Hardline.
I think they're just making a mad scramble to get a bunch of people to beta test their netcode so that they can get issues worked out early.
One of those two, I think, totally makes sense.
I'm voting for you're being used.
Yeah. Either way, though, it's kind of cool because 168 hours is quite a bit of time.
Dude, free is free. That's the thing is, I tend not to complain as much about games that are free as the games I've paid like $400 to play. Electronic Arts. Got to buy your Battlefield 4 on, what is it, Xbox? I got an Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, and 2 of them I got premium on.
Why?
Because they took all my money. They wanted to take my money, so I just gave it to them. I was like... Because I have people I play with on all those different consoles. Like, I have friends that I play... Yeah.
You need to consolidate your friends list, man.
I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to enlist, be like, yeah, no, you got a PS4, dude.
I can't hang out with you anymore.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've already got like 3 people over here on this other console, so I'm just going to have to let you go. I'm sorry. Here's your severance package, and back.
Your severance package is like a bag of cookies.
It is, yeah. It's a bag of pickles and like a code for like a free $5 game off Steam.
Yes. Oh, man, I probably shouldn't have clapped in front of the mic. But yeah, that's kind of brutal, man. I don't know if I could do that. I usually try to find the most people that are going to play a specific game on a specific platform, which nowadays is almost always PC. Thank you, group of friends. And then I would buy it for that. So like back in the day, I did get Halo 2. So I played it on Xbox, obviously, because a whole bunch of my friends played. So I did do that. I've followed friends into buying things, but I don't think I've ever bought something on 2 different platforms before. Not even 2. And then you bought it for how many? 5?
I've got it on like 4 platforms.
4 platforms.
On 360, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
PC, okay, yeah.
So yeah, I'm all over the place.
That's
they took my money.
Luckily, you don't have anyone with Wii U.
The thing is, it sucks on every one of the platforms. Yet I keep giving them my money. I don't get it. Their marketing department is phenomenal.
You know, I actually really liked Battlefield 3.
I did too. That was my that was my all-time favorite Battlefield.
My favorite one was honestly 1942, but Bad Company 2 was pretty good. I played it for quite a while. But Battlefield 3 I played a fair amount, and despite all the bull crap, it was somewhat okay. And then Battlefield 4 came out, and I just can't deal with their junk anymore. I can't believe Battlelog still isn't fixed. Every single time I go try to play the game.
Bad though. How did they go from like decent netcode to such horrible netcode? Like the rubber banding and the random pauses and like the hit markers. Like you're shooting some dude or where you just shoot out into nowhere and it's like some guy dies. You're like, where was he? And then he just like appears and dies in front of you. You're like, this is wrong. Very wrong.
I don't know, man. It's no good. And it seems like every single time, and people flame me for this every single time, but I'm gonna keep on saying it because it's true. Every time I go try to play the game, you can't just launch the game.
Nope.
It's impossible. There's a battle log update. There's an origin update. There's an update for the game.
Punkbuster's bitching about something. Yep.
Didn't work at all because it never does. And then for some reason, there's the friends list is down or not working, or the server's having problems, or there's a sound bug which just makes it so the entire server is muted. And it's like, oh my god, I just want to play. Leave me alone.
This is the only reason I like consoles, Luke. The only reason is because you put the damn CD in the thing. Most of the time, I'm not going to say all the time because I still get that stupid, you got to download 7 gigabyte update every other day. But
I'm going to blow you up for this because I tried to do a Keymander video not even that long ago. You know what? I'm sure you know what Keymander is. It's that thing.
I have no idea what the hell is Keymander.
It's this little in-between so you can plug a keyboard and mouse into your console.
Oh, I've got one of those. It's from a different company. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah.
I tried to do a video on that, and the problem ended up being that it took me so long to set up originally because I turned the Xbox on, and first of all, there's this massive update, and I'm like, okay, whatever. We don't use Xbox One that much at all, so it makes sense that I had to do this massive update. But then I put a Dead Rising 3 disc in that I had from a buddy who is a developer on the game, so it's like the case is all signed and everything. It's kind of cool, but I've never played it before. So I put the disc in, and it wouldn't load. It says, please put an Xbox game or identifiable media disc in the system, something along those lines. And I'm like, oh, okay, the disc is dead. I've never played it before, so I wasn't too surprised about it for a few months. Sorry, buddy, but I didn't play your game. So Linus sends me off to the store, and I find a $20 copy of Call of Duty Ghosts, which was hilarious because it was so cheap. And I bring it back to play on my Xbox One, and I put that in, and it doesn't load. And I'm like, what the hell? Okay, so my Xbox is broken. And I go to, like, lay it down so that I can unplug everything. And when I lay it down, it reads.
Nice.
I'm like, really? You don't have vertical disk reading support? Ugh, I don't know if that's actually an issue with everyone, but we had that problem, which is just sad. It didn't work at all. And then finally, I'm like, okay, the game's working now. I'm just going to launch it, play right away because it's a console. There'll obviously be no problem, so I'm just going to put the disc in and it's going to work, right? That's how consoles work. Massive download required. Call of Duty Ghost needs this, like, huge download and it has to install locally on the system. And I'm like, this isn't a console. You're not putting the disc in and it works. When I try to play a game on my Wii, if there's a download, it takes 2 seconds and it works immediately. And it just launches the game automatically. This one had to install it locally and download the biggest patch ever, and it took up the whole rest of the day, and I wasn't even able to get that video done, and now it's just sitting on my desk, and I haven't looked at it in weeks, because I'm just like,
no, I think the whole update thing is completely stupid. Like,
it's nuts.
It doesn't seem like they even try to get the updates that small, because it's like, oh, you look at like the change list, and the change list is like, oh, we've improved netcode slightly, yet it has to download like 8 gigabytes of, like, you know, world maps and textures, and it's like, it just doesn't seem like they try to minimize that patching process. They almost like make you download the whole game every time. It drives me nuts.
It seems like they tried to find anything that could possibly be annoying about a PC version of the game and then made it happen on Xbox.
Well, I remember when I bought Battlefield 4, it was like, what was it, a 4 gigabyte update for that thing. Literally, I had to start the update and, like, go eat dinner and, you know, go lawn and go to work for a week. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
People are asking why I got Call of Duty Ghosts. It's because it was the cheapest game I could have possibly bought for Xbox One. It's not because I wanted to play it. I was trying to buy a game that was a first-person shooter that was as cheap as possible, because all I wanted to do was show that you could use a keyboard and mouse in that game, and Dead Rising isn't necessarily the right game to properly show that off for. So I wanted to be able to show fine movement with a mouse, so I thought of getting Call of Duty Ghosts. But yeah, I got frustrated by the stupid X-Bone, so I kind of gave up on that. Maybe I'll finish that video at some point in time, because I think it's kind of cool. You can go to your buddy's house that insists on playing console, and you can bring your Keymander and wreck him because you have a keyboard and mouse. But
people get so mad at you if you announce that you use that, though. Like,
I'm sure they do.
I did a
'Cause
video
it's a
where I was on
cheating
like
device,
this. I'm like, hey
essentially.
guys, look, I'm using my keyboard and mouse. Oh god, oh you're a big cheater. And I wasn't even winning or anything. I was like still
Yeah.
sucked horribly.
But you kind of are because it's so much better. And like, I'm not even just master racing right here. Keyboard and mouse is so much better than than a controller, and it even is when you use something like a keymander, because you can change your sensitivity and stuff. So you could make
Yeah.
it almost not really, but you can make it a fairly similar experience to using input devices on a normal computer. It's not going to be as great, but close. Kind of interesting. But yeah, it's an interesting video because I want to make it so that essentially based around how to just completely wreck all of your console friends, because you can bring this around with you. Because I think it works with Xbox One, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3.
I think
I'm
mine
not
only
sure.
works with 360. Like it doesn't. I don't think it worked with anything else. I'll have to check. I think it's a Zim Edge or something.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It was cool how configurable it is, though, because you can set up macros and literally do everything. The timing between button. I mean, you could literally make one key like do a combo. Like if you're playing Mortal Kombat or something, you have one key be like a half moon BA and
Yeah.
like always nail that move. So yeah, I guess that is pretty
It's
cheater.
pretty
device.
cheater device. It's
I'm gonna take that to
pretty
MLG
cheater
and
device.
just dominate.
Oh yes, I'll bring my keyboard and mouse to my console tournament. I know, like, what was I trying to say here? I know a while ago there was internal controller mods that you could do where you can make it so you just hold down fire and it would fire semi-automatic weapons at full speed. So you could take like single shot
Yep.
rifles and be like,
Well, remember that was really big back in like that. I remember back in the old Nintendo games, they used to have those power controllers that you could
Yeah.
get, where you'd flip the little
Turbo or
switch,
whatever.
yeah, give you turbo rapid fire. You'd have like
Yeah.
6 buttons instead of, or 4 buttons instead of 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love that, especially in those games where you had to like sit there and just button mash the hell
Yeah.
out of something to achieve a goal. You just hold the button down and be like,
yup, I
What?
will win this.
yeah.
I don't know. Those are pretty cool, but they are definitely cheater devices. But I hope to have a video on that eventually. Although every single time I go work on that project, I just get super pissed at the Xbox and quit. So I don't know when that's gonna be ready.
Hey, at least you
Maybe
don't have
no
to wrap
time
it in a
soon.
blanket to make it work, okay? It's
Yeah, maybe. So we get to do something fairly fun, actually. Can you? No, I don't think so. Maybe not. All right, I'm just gonna do this. I have to play around with screen regions for a sec here.
I never even had a chance. He didn't even tell me what I
No
could do.
chance at all. What we're gonna do is a giveaway.
If
We're
the
gonna do
name's
the
drawn
giveaway
as
for-
Barnacules, just keep drawing until it is.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
4 people now, Luke.
I'm sure everybody watching is going to be totally cool with that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving away a R9 270X and an OCZ Fatality 1000 watt 80 plus gold power supply with individually slaved cables. This is for one winner, so one winner is getting both. It's a slightly overpowered power supply for that graphics card, but whatever, don't worry about it. And we're going to be random.org drawing that right now. So it's based on a LinusTechTips.com thread. So just give me 1 second and I will pull this up on this monitor because again, my screen sharing is not working at all. So
God, learn to computer, Luke. Jeez.
you learned a computer.
Dude, I'm computering right now.
XSplit just gets mad at screen sharing sometimes. That's my excuse.
Sometimes I wonder if XSplit was like written in BASIC or something, because it's like, oh my God, is it bloatware?
I know. I'm not a huge fan of Open Broadcaster either, though.
I don't like the interface. I think it works better overall once you get it configured. But God, whoever wrote the user interface for that thing was like, I don't know. I think he might have been blind.
I just find that changing things on the fly with Open Broadcaster is a lot harder.
Yeah.
If you set up everything perfectly beforehand, I prefer it. But if you have to mess with things while you're live, I don't prefer it. And because we're so ghetto sauce over here, we always have to mess with things while we're live, so we kind of have to just deal with XSplit.
Yeah.
So I kind of have this working now. Is this logged out? It's logged out. Perfect. Okay. Add screen region. This whole thing. It's gonna be Inception here for a second. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna put it in the middle of it.
You do that. I'll just entertain everybody with a little mini Barnacules dancing. We'll just do a little mini Barnacules dancing.
Perfect. So you guys can see this is the thread, Linus Tech Tips and JayzTwoCents giveaway. So what we're going to do is there's 373 pages. So I'm going to random.org for 1 out of 373. So right now, we are drawing for the chance to have a chance to win something, essentially, because we're drawing the page of which we will pick 1 out of 20 people. So generate. Result is page 31. So if I jump ahead one page here, dun, 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 everyone just went to the forum, so it's going super slow, and then change the URL from page -2 to page -31. That should work just fine.
Sweet, that's the page I'm on. Yes.
Awesome. Is it?
No.
Okay, I was like, what? That would have been kind of...
Dude, I'm not entering a contest like this. You know how loaded that would be? I'm like co-hosting this show, and I collaborate with JayzTwoCents, and we do tech talk every Thursday. That would look really bad if I won.
I've hardcore entered contests for other people's stuff that are big YouTubers.
Really?
Okay. I entered for Logan's car.
I tried to enter for Logan's car. I did. I missed it by a couple of hours. I was like, no, I wanted the BMW with the gnarly stereo.
No shame from me at all. I'm going for it. I'm not gonna win, but I'm going for it. All right, so...
Ooh, Inception.
We have Sanic. Dr. Ragegasm. Wow, that would be funny if he won. AB Low. XX Wolf XX Leet. Infernap 12. Deathwing 72. That's probably from World of Warcraft. Puget. I'm not sure. Mr. Sleer. Chris Rex Mandy.
That's a great name.
Pernil. I'm probably butchering every single one of these. I'm Nick. That one is pretty easy. Danny Alice. Fuzzy. TVG Viking. Rob DeHood. Snacker. Crackle Fruit. Nathan Villarosa. Spawns. Beyond Beast. And that is it. So, we have to 1 out of 20 this to see who wins.
Come on, Ragegasm. Come on, that's my alias on there. Come on.
Oh, yeah?
No, I'm just kidding.
When I saw that, I thought it was kind of funny, actually. All right, 1 out of 20, generate 16. I'm pretty sure that wasn't Ragegasm.
Yeah, I'm giving you a little drum roll. Sounds more like a sick airplane, but...
5, 6,
what do we got?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
I'm so excited!
14, 15 is Rob the Hood, and 16 is Snacker.
Boom!
There we go.
Good name, too.
So, Snacker will be contacted. I believe you will be contacted by Nick LMG on the forum. It doesn't actually say how this is being done, so you might want to send him a message too. But I believe he will be contacting you on the forum with how to get that all set up. So congratulations, Snacker. And as you guys know, which has been happening with the previous giveaway that we did for a while, if he doesn't claim his prize, we will probably just redraw it.
Give it to me.
I know he only
just give it to me. Just give it to me.
Just give it to
me.
I don't think Big Linus is going to be getting that prize.
Aww.
But yeah, we'll just redraw it. So don't worry if the guy has a low post count. I think he only had like 4 posts or something. I know tons of people freak out about that every single time. It's almost better for you guys because there might be a second chance. I love how basically everyone in the Twitch chat right now is saying that they won. Here, I gotta join in. There we go. I have to join in on that kind of stuff. I don't know why. I
did too. Oh my gosh.
All right. Is there anything else we should talk about in here? Sierra's back. Their website is all ominous now. Yeah.
Ooh, go check this out.
I believe it's just Sierra.com or something like
that.
Not Sierra Interactive
anymore. It's just okay. Let's see this.
Sierra Interactive used to be one of the great publishers for PC gaming and just in general, to be completely honest.
These are Larry, Space Quest. Oh god, they had awesome games. I love Sierra. They like dominated the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. They've been dead for a while now, but there's been a teaser post on their website, and Activision is suggesting their return at Gamescom. So we will see. People are kind of wondering what it's going to be. Sorry?
What's your favorite Sierra game? Quick. Favorite all-time Sierra game?
That's such a hard question.
I know, that's a hard one, huh?
I'd probably have to see like a proper list. Let me see here. Sierra. Da-da-da-da. Ah, it's still a hard question.
Dude, there's so many games, like so many.
Probably Space Quest.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Really?
Space Quest is my all-time favorite Sierra game. The whole series was hilarious.
Yeah, it's still kind of like I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Space Quest.
That's what I loved about Sierra games, though, is every single one of them had a really crude, funny sense of humor, like full of
horrible.
innuendos and everything. It was
Horrible.
awesome.
Someone just said CS:GO. I don't think so. That's probably about it. We ended pretty much exactly on time. I'm probably going to be having a after party thing of my own today, but I don't know when it's going to start because I got some stuff to do because this week's nuts. I'm probably going to be streaming later on the weekend, specifically Sunday, of just me working on projects because I'm going to be bored because I'm going to be working on projects because I have to work on the weekend because Linus is taking leave because he has like some baby or some crap that's supposed to actually matter. I don't know. Not into kids.
And you know he's not even gonna do anything. He's gonna sit there and play video games and be like, yeah, I'm watching the kid. And his wife's gonna be over there like half asleep. Just oh my gosh, it's gonna be horrible.
Knowing him, in all seriousness, he can't stop moving for more than like 5 minutes because he's this little tiny ball of energy. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be doing a lot.
It's not like he can hold the baby because he can't physically lift that much weight. So what's he gonna do?
You know, there's been builds in the past where I'll have to like pick the computer up and put it on the table so they can film B-roll of it because it weighs too much.
You're basically like his hired muscle.
But then there's also the opposite. When we're installing certain coolers, I have to have him come in and help me. Like the Dark Rock Pro 3, that cooler with certain motherboards is so ridiculous. And I got called out for like doing it wrong, but like, dude, I wasn't doing it wrong. If people saw, I don't think we ended up including this footage, how Linus even eventually was able to do it was holding the, am I saying this right? Nut? The bolt is the like screw type thing.
Yeah, I've held my nut before. I think you got it right.
Yeah, okay. So he's holding it on the side of the screwdriver bit because the screwdriver was magnetic. So on the side, and then he like hovered it into place and just got it to thread slightly and then was able to do it because it was so hard to actually get it in there with your fingers.
So he's
even
an
with his
expert
smaller fingers, he can
finagler.
do it
That's what we
properly.
call those, expert finaglers.
Yes, he was an expert finagler, and he had to help me with that, and that was a complete bullcrap install, so we help in both directions. I am not missing build logs. If you guys saw earlier in the show, there is a thread for you guys to go submit build logs right now. Check it out on the forum. We're doing a big compilation of build logs, and then we'll be moving to a different schedule, so please check that out on the forum. I will see you guys later. Once again, tell people how they can find you.
Guys, if you enjoyed the show and you enjoy me, even if you didn't enjoy me, still come over there. Barnnerd.com. Yeah. Or at Barnacules, which I think is there on the little screen down there. See that little at Barnacules? Yeah, come over to Twitter and talk to me. I like when people talk to me. It's nice. Makes me feel like I'm not alone in this world. I'm not virgin for life anymore. Because people talk to me.
Not a virgin for life anymore. Don't you have kids?
You know what's funny? I have a kid and I put him in a bunch of videos and everybody still posts down in the comments, virgin for life. So I just go with it now. I'm just like, dude, immaculate conception. My wife was just sitting there eating one night and she's like, I feel pregnant. I mean, I didn't touch her. I'm virgin for life here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anyways, guys, we will see you next time. I'm going to roll the intro right now. Outro, technically?
Outro.
Scene, but whatever. It's going to be bad because I didn't move the thing down, so it's going to show an ad first. It's not going to actually play the outro. And there we go. Once again, I want to thank 5-4 Club. You guys should like their Instagram picture, which I've spammed in the chat a whole bunch of times. Follow them at 5-4 Club on Instagram and comment with hashtag Linus Style Tips to be entered into a draw, which we will draw on Monday for an epic 5-4 package. You can get 5-4 for $60 a month. You get $120 worth of stuff, and it is pretty awesome clothes. I was wearing their shirt for the entire show today. Also, Lynda.com. Tons of the guys in the office use it. I use it. Taryn uses it. My mom uses it. You can sign up Lynda.com/WAN Show for a 7-day free trial, and you can learn a ton of different stuff. It's $25 a month, and you get access to pretty much everything. They have thousands of courses. They add new courses every single week, and I highly suggest it if you are a programmer because their programming section is huge, and that is what I have personally used it for, although Taryn has used it in the office for learning how to edit videos properly as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.